Good evening, everyone, and welcome to WR Tier 7 on this lovely Tuesday evening. Well, I say lovely, it's very humid here in the UK, but we are here for WR Tier 7. I am your host, Storm, for this evening. I have no co-commentator, so it's just me and my lovely voice here for Bahrain. Today is our first of 3, I believe, sprint races in the season in the city of Sakir. In the middle of the desert, actually, if I say so myself. Wow. Obviously, we start with qualifying with a normal short qualifying. Who sets our grid for the race? Well, sprint race, I should say. And then that sprint race sets our grid for the main 29 laps of the Sakir that you would be used to. So, let's learn a bit about Tier 7. Last week, we had the race at Austria, with all the tiers, in fact, racing at Austria last weekend. And we are here in Sakir for round 2. Let's get the standings up for last week, as I wasn't your commentator last week, due to actually not being your main commentator. I should have been your main commentator, but because of other commitments in real life, I've been unable to fulfill my commitments. So I will be popping in and out of your streams every now and then. But your winner of last week's race was G Ninja, apparently, according to the standings, which I do know a little bit about G Ninja. I have raced with him a few times in a couple of leagues. He's a very quick driver, as well as Monty Slow. He's a decent driver. He finished P3, who... he's a very quick driver. I've raced with him in a couple of leagues. The person is second, Ben Croydon. I've never actually heard of, so he must be quite a decent driver. But as we hit 8 o'clock, it looks like we are going to be heading into the short qualifying session of the evening. So let's learn a bit about Sakir. Sakir is a 3.3 mile circuit around the Auto International Circuit of Bahrain. It has 5 different layouts, which is very interesting. I did not know that. I would have said a few more than that. I would have said... five sounds about right. Obviously, a few seasons ago, where we had... Obviously, Bahrain. Actually, we'll start with the International Circuit. We'll start some facts around the International Circuit. The International Circuit, the one we're racing on tonight, we obviously had the devastating and very sad, I wouldn't say sad, very shocking crash of Romain Grosjean a few months ago. It's been a few years ago now. But we've had that. We've had George Russell in the Mercedes for the first time a few seasons ago in the outer layout of Sakir. And a few seasons ago, I think it was 2020, we last had a short race on a calendar, I believe. And we were around the short circuit, so-called by F1, of the 2 long straights, but we had a few of them. I think we had that on the calendar in WR a few seasons ago. But we are in for qualifying for the sprint race. Remember that. It is for the sprint race. The sprint race sets a qualifying for the main race, but this sets a qualifying for the main race. Top 8 get points. Obviously, first getting 8 and 8th getting 1. But let's head into qualifying and let's see who is going to be your first driver out on the track. At the moment, it doesn't actually look like anyone is heading out onto the circuit, which is a bit annoying, but we will continue to chat a bit, shall we? Oh, no, never mind. We do have RPL Egg, who luckily somehow I am on board with, but we have a few people out on track, and we have... I don't know who that is. I need to learn these car colours a bit. I believe that is a Williams of Razoo, sorry. We'll watch Razoo. I didn't really get to see him last season, but that Williams is beautiful, I must say. It must be one of my favourite looking cars. It's a very bold car, to say this, from a few of the other Williams from a few seasons ago. But we are ready to say the least. But actually, let's let's do this quickly because I don't use this camera. Let's help. Obviously, there's going to be a few tweaks, guys, because I haven't had to stream yet on this game, which is exciting to do. Never mind, I can't change that, so it's okay. We'll just deal with it like this, guys. But yeah, let's think of while we're watching Razoo on his outlet, let's go back to some WR moments around the Bahrain International Circuit. Obviously, we've had great PC Tier 1 moments with the likes of Nicholas Longuet coming together with, I think it was Barry Burriman, if I go back. I haven't actually got the thing up, but we'll get it up quickly, shall we? Tier 1 PC Bahrain. Let's see who it was together. I can't remember who it was now. I feel like it was Nicholas Longuet, Barry Burriman, and a few of the others. I will get it up. It was Nicholas Longuet, Barry Burriman, and Jake Benham, I believe it was. I believe, now I say it. It was Jake Benham, Nicholas Longuet, and Barry Burriman, which I believe Nicholas Longuet came out on top. But as I was talking about this, Razoo hasn't actually started his lap, so we'll follow Razoo around his lap as he comes through sector 2 of the hairpin. So slow through there, but traction out there is very difficult. Easy to lock up down into what I would like to call lock-up corner. He takes it very slowly as always. It's a very hard corner to get right, but he doesn't lock up. He's straight onto the throttle, heading down towards the long left-hander towards the uphill section, which is very easy to spin on this inside curve if you touch it. He's perfectly close to it. It's a great corner by him there. It's a 1.64 for the first second. And there's a Mercedes on the exit spinning up, and I believe that would have been the Mercedes. Oh, well, I don't actually know what Mercedes that was then. But as he heads round the final corner, it's not looking like the best lap. No. I don't know if that was I don't know what the fastest lap times around Bahrain is. I haven't actually set a lap around him myself. But RPL leg actually goes a little bit slower, so 28 must be where this is at, which is a respectable time. G Ninja, the person of the last weekend, winning in the city of Spielberg in Austria, but it looks like we have a Red Bull somewhere coming around the final corner, which it is Rodam who ran the final corner to come down towards the line, and he looks like he'll be pressuring pole position here. He doesn't, he just goes into full position, but the Haas is already looking very strong with Monty and G Ninja taking up first and third on the grid this evening. It's looking very strong for them, to say the least, but the main man of the hour, the streamer of Tier 10, who I would like to say is probably my favourite driver of the week. But I will just notice who I have just seen in the lobby, WOR Ability. This man gave me many a fright, to say the least, last season in his tier. He was very quick, as you can see, P4 already on his first lap, which he'll be quite happy with that. But it's a whole new season. Anything can happen. Anyone can be top of the table. And it's the second race, so there is a long way to go. And it looks like ERL, I don't know how to say his name, yeah, we'll call him ERL Matt. ERL Matt goes into pole position for the sprint race currently. It's only your first laps, so they have got a couple of laps to spare. I reckon there'll be a few drivers that save a set of softs for the main race if there's a safety car towards the end of it, or even the sprint race if there's a safety car in that. But remember, it is only a 10-lap sprint, so it's going to be a pressure. Are you going to want to get onto them grippier tyres for the sprint race, or are you going to be wanting to get the longevity out of them towards the distance of 10 laps? 10 laps around Bahrain doesn't seem a lot, but soft tyres seem to drop a bit on this game. So it's going to be about who can look after their tyres and who can provide the pace. If you can provide pace and look after tyres, you've got a good chance. But it looks like Rath is being held up by his teammate currently. I'm being towed up the hill of being held up. I'm going to go held up because he's 0.8 seconds behind. It looks like Barney's come around the final corner, but he looks like he's going to be headed into the box. But it looks like we have a flying AlphaTauri down this back straight. Nope. It looks like everyone is into the pit lane, but Joe Murphy just going off there on his lap actually. So that's his first lap invalidated. We will just there. Who's this? He's down on his time currently, so we will try to find someone. I would Hera, is he on his lap? Hera looks like he's on a lap. As he heads, no, he's off his lap, but Smithy is on an extra flying lap. He's 3.3 seconds up, heading into the lookup corner. He gets through there smoothly and nicely. But we haven't done a full track guide yet, so we will go through the first sector with you when we have a driver on towards a faster lap. But Smithy heading up to the hill where it's very easy to lose the rear end up here, which he takes a very smoothly, lovely over the curb. 6.3 seconds up. Obviously, didn't have the greatest first lap, but a 6.3 second up. He's going to need to find a little more bit more time if he's going to want to pressure them top positions. But he heads round the final corner to head onto the throttle as quickly as you possibly can. He uses all his DRS, and he does improve, but not by much. 29.0, so he's about a second off of the leader at the moment of Aaron Matt. He looks very, very quick in the AlphaTauri, which I must say, one of the better cars looking wise this season actually. But we continue the qualifying as it looks like a few drivers are heading out on towards their second laps, and we will follow the provisional pole man around on his out lap and watch him on his first lap. But let's, as we have a minute or so before he starts his lap, do we have any predictions, to say the least? If there's anyone watching and wants to drop a prediction in the chat, we'll go through a few predictions if they would like to drop them in there, but we can think. But I will drop my predictions quickly. I think G Ninja won't have the best first qualifying session, but will bring it back in the race and have good race pace. So I'm going to say G Ninja will go for back-to-back wins, and we'll have a Haas 1-2, but followed by an outsider. I reckon we'll have a RPL Egg or a Papash in there. Papash, also another one who raced WR Ability a few last season actually, and them two had a great battle in towards the first rounds. So I don't know. We will see towards this. But Errol Matt heads on to his second flying lap of the evening to try to improve on his 28.0.57 as he locks up, hooks it up into the first corner. Over that curve as much as he can. G Ninja flying in there with a 2/10 improvement over Matt. Can Matt fight back into his lap? Can he hit the apex in towards the tougher Henry, I must say it is. A lot tougher than last year, because last year you used to be able to ride that curve a lot. You used to be able to ride the curves a lot more last year. I know they used to spin you a lot, but you've got to hit them. Oh, Matt has a snap, and that, I'm afraid, will probably be his lap over and done with. But it looks like Monty is on a lap. Can Monty improve in towards his first sector? As Monty heads across the first sector line, he's improving by 300ths of a second. Just not quite enough to push him up to P3, but there is probably a bit more time into the second sector, whereas the time is the most key to gain. It would obviously be the down left-hander in here. If he can hook this up nicely, there's probably a definite amount of time in there. That was a great entry and a great exit from Monty there. Great straight on the car, and he heads down towards the left-hander, braking about the 50-metre board, in towards the left-hander, up the hill, shining bright lights into your eyes if you are actually in the visor. And he comes across 1.5 seconds up. He's currently pushing towards that second place on the grid. Can we get a Haas 1-2 towards a sprint race? It looks likely at the moment as he heads in towards the final corner just after the 100-metre board. Do you want to break there? And he spins on the wall. He's lost it on the final corner and he's going to box. That is very unlucky for Monty there. And he heads into the pit lane. Improving woefully there, but it looks like someone's going to cross the line. It doesn't look like they improved by much. This is just me flicking through. I'm just trying to find who that is. I have no clue who that is. It must be biased, but Murphy doesn't get on his lap. Actually, no, he's just started his lap. Actually, we watched Murphy for his first lap because he actually invalidated his first lap, which is a bit guttering in towards his qualifying session. But can he throw himself into the mix, up in towards the top 7 onwards? I didn't really see the first set. The split is 28.4. I can't remember who anyone else is split at the moment, but we'll continue to watch him. Can he throw himself anywhere? I'm gonna say reliable. Oh, we have Papash in the chat. P18 from Papa. What is also one of my more drivers I've known a bit from last season, but I must say at the moment this man is looking mightily quick. But I'm not going to count out here on Matt or Bowman because they look very quick as well. But I wouldn't count out this man in P5 either. He might not be there up there on the time at the moment, but we've already seen him being improving. But it looks like Joe is going to be heading in towards the final corner. It's about 120 as he hits the apex. As he comes round the final corner along the apex, and he crosses the line to go into P6. He pushes himself into the P6. Like, he will be delighted with that, I hope, to put himself into them upper points, mid points paying positions. But I don't know if we have anyone on a flyer at the moment. Is Ronan, that Red Bull on a flyer as he heads towards the pit lane as well? And it doesn't look like... Oh, we have Jitto on towards an outlap. So we will either watch Jitto or I think that might be Razoo actually, who looks like he's gearing up to go again. He does. So we will watch... oh, wrong button. We'll watch Jitto on his lap, and then we can always switch back to Razoo, which is nice to see. Oh, and that's Jitto spinning off towards the barrier, the famous corner where Nikita Mazepin spun it in his first race in real life, which we all know what's happened to Nikita Mazepin over the last year or so. But Razoo improving by about a tenth and 300ths. So he's heading towards that top 3 positions at the moment. And that's 1.5 tenths pretty much in the first sector. So can he find anywhere else to throw himself up into them top 2 positions? Can he even put this on pole just provisionally? I don't know. It's going to be a long. It's going to be a big shout for him. He's going to have to drive to the absolute limit of his beings in this tier. They're all very good drivers. Tier 7. It might not be what. Oh, that's Razoo spinning. He is gone, and that's going to be his final lap. It looks like in towards the final in the session. So he looks like he's going to be starting P8 or lower. But it looks like we have an Alpha Tauri of Hera on an outlap. But I'm not going to lie. It looks like Jitto is spun actually, didn't he? So. But who was I talking about a little while ago who was on a flyer? I can't remember who I was on about now. I think it was one of the... Was it one of the Ferraris? Well, do you know what? We'll hop on with not Smithy. Where's Smithy's teammate? Oz. He is on an outlap. but a lot of people are on outlaps actually. So Hera, any of the top drivers on an outlap going in towards a thing. Where is our top drivers? G Ninja is going to be our provisional pole man at the moment. He's going to be the driver to start the top drivers on their laps. We will watch G Ninja's lap and then we will switch to who I think could get second place. We will G Ninja and then Matt. But do not count out that man in the other Haas. Monty is a very, very, very good driver. And would, to be fair, anyone in this tier would absolutely smoke me. So at the end of the day, we have some class drivers. But we head towards G Ninja's final lap as he heads towards the end of Sector 1. Do you know what? Actually, I'm going to sit back and let you watch this man drive because he is a very good driver. He's somehow in Tier 7. I have no clue how. But Hera throws it up in the P2, so he was out of nowhere. I didn't expect him to be throwing up there. Then he goes and throws in the P2 provisionally before the end of the session. But can he keep it there? It's going to be an ask because I feel like some of these drivers are going to improve by a bit of a margin. But yeah, I'm going to let you watch the rest of his lap for the second half of it. So I will go quiet and enjoy the rest of his lap. Oh, I'm going to have to interrupt because I've just seen Matt throw it up into P1. But does G Ninja have enough to battle him? He doesn't. It's a 10th off. And at the moment, it's looking like he's going to be your pole sitter. But Monty, he's improving by half a tenth. It's not enough at the moment. But can he get himself up into them top 4 positions to even have a chance of getting the main race win? I don't know. 2/10, it's enough to throw himself up in towards that battle of the top 4. He just needs to find a bit more time in the final sector to even have a sniff at the pole position. But at the moment, it's not looking likely. As he heads around the final corner, can he get himself close into that pole position? He goes to P3 and sits behind his teammate. Hera not on a lap, but I think that's about it. Apart from Smithy, who is finishes lap, and P18 of Penkunku is off his lap as well. So that is your sprint race lineup, as I should say. Mira Matt signature on pole. G Ninja following up in the Haas livery, which was a bit controversial at the start of the year, but it's slightly improved now. His teammate Monty just sitting behind. Hera ERL's teammate in P4. Both McLarens P5 and 6. Papash throwing himself up in the Williams into P7. P8 Wrath, Ronan P9, and WR Billy rounding off your top 10 for the sprint race. It's going to be a tough race. How can we see things changing in the sprint race? Obviously, the sprint race being our first one of the year is going to be quite exciting to watch, I think. There's going to be a lot of drivers either going for holding position. If you're going to be one of those starting drivers, you're going to be wanting to hold your position and not make any mistakes. Because if you make a mistake, it's going to be very hard to work back. Papash saying, considering that was my first serious race on this game, fair enough. If that's your first serious race on this game, which it was mine last week, actually competing in WOR as well. P7 is a great result. In fact, again in this tier, it's a very good result. Right, we will move on towards the sprint race. Oh, we head in towards the sprint race for the evening. It is about 20 past 8 UK time. We head into the sprint race. So I'm going to say, I don't know how long the sprint race will last, but it's going to be a little bit later this evening with the sprint race and the main race. So it will be quite an interesting one, to say the least. I'm going to say I think it's going to be a battle between the top three for the sprint race win. These 8 points will be massive towards the end of the season, if it's close. We are waiting on the drivers to get ready and up to go. Right, let's get ready and warmed up. Well, not warmed up because I'm very warm from watching that. But Joe Murphy lays out of the session. We will see if he gets back in quickly. If that's a disconnect, it might be a leave, but I'm pretty sure that'll probably be a disconnect. So he will get an invite back, I'm sure, very, very quickly. 13 viewers in the chat this evening. Great to see you all, and great to see you all enjoying WOR Tier 7. It's going to be a long one, to say the least, but I'm glad you're all going to be sitting here and enjoying this fine racing of these drivers this evening. Let's have a look at my... There we go. Right, that's sorted. Yeah, so we are just waiting on the command to go from our tier coordinator, the main man, Smithy himself, and it's looking like we are having a bit of a wait. It's probably going to be a couple of minutes wait, but we will sit and hold. It gives us time to rest from that exciting qualifying of the top three. But we have an exciting sprint race, to say the least. I'm very excited to see who's gone with what tyre, who's going to go with an aggressive strategy. I reckon there'll be some drivers towards the midfield of the top 10 that will go towards the soft compound and try to make them last towards the end of the race. As we are readying up, it looks like, towards the thing. It looks like Smithy's saying there isn't going to be no formation lap, so the drivers need to remember their tyres are going to be cold towards the start, and it's going to be very hard to get off the line. So it's going to be a very slow start, I think. And it's going to be about who can get the most grip out of them tyres. As we head in towards that 30-second countdown of the session, it's looking... do you know what? I'm getting very excited for this because I feel like it's going to be good. Sorry about it, guys, I'm back. I didn't even know we already started. This is... Oh, it looks like we already have a safety car. I have missed a few. Oh, and we have a small raid coming through already. Very nice to see. But yeah, we are here and we are ready. For the safety car restart. don't know if it's safety car or thing, but no, it's VSC and it's back underway. So Matt gets back up, but it looks like G Ninja's actually fell all the way down to P12. It looks like. So he must have had a shocker of a start or something happen. But it's very hot. But Matt is heading towards the end of the first lap in the sprint race. It's a very short race, so it's not about getting two elbows out. You're gonna want to just finish the race. So you're gonna want to finish and get into a decent position. I wouldn't want to push anything. I can't think of the word. I can't think of the word. But we are heading towards the second lap of this race. Monty, the man of my books to win the race, to actually come second in the race. I said G Ninja, but at the moment it's not looking like he's going to even be in the equation unless he can find himself towards the front of the pack. Monty is trying to close that gap down towards Matt, who's actually just slipped out of that DRS range and is trying to close that gap slightly. Joe just slipping out towards the end of the DRS, and a WR ability just in that DRS train. The DRS trains will slightly begin to form and slightly begin to break up as we go along in this race, but these two look like they are on a different level to compared to the rest of the field currently, apart from G Ninja, but he doesn't look like he's got the pace to keep up with the other guys. It looks like he may have a little bit of damage, but it looks like Monty is going to be using his little bit of his ERS, but it looks like Matt is using it as well. So if Monty can just sit there, he's going to be able to use that DRS and even maybe try to make his way towards that pole position. It's going to be a long one, and it's going to be a fun one. Monty sets the first lap of the race with a 30.6. As I said, let's have a look at the tyres. There's a lot of people on mediums, but W Ability trying to make them softs go the distance. Already up into P5, Smithy into P14, and also out. Monty, but it looks like we have a spinning for Oz, which... oh no, it's not Oz, it's Smithy actually. The tier coordinator himself is spinning. He would like to call DJ actually washed in his tier of commentary, but it looks like it's backfired on him, and it looks like Smithy is a bit washed. But his teammate's pitting for damage, and it looks like Matt. But we look like we are going to go the distance in this one race. And it looks like Matt is 2 tenths up on his time. So he looks like he's being faster. Heading down the back to the main straight and back again, but it doesn't look like Monty is going to have the straight line speed to get past Matt this way around, but he's going to have to try to keep as close as he can. But it looks like there's a bit of movement towards the back field. It looks like he's going to go down the inside of Joe Murphy. It looks like WR, but can he keep it in there? No, it's going to be Murphy. He's going to keep it around the outside and keep the gap. And that looks like a very interesting match. And it looks like WR Police tyres are already beginning to fade. They ripping for a few laps, but begin to drop slowly and slowly and slowly. But can we find any more battles on the grid? Harrop going down the inside in towards the lock-up corner. He does, and he makes the move sick. He needs to move on quickly again to RPO leg if he wants to be up and towards the higher positions. Again, he did qualify in towards a higher position for provisional, but I don't know where he dropped to in the end of qualifying. I can't really remember. The WR tyres just beginning to fade a little bit, but they're gonna hang on, I reckon, for 10 laps. but Matt is beginning to pull his gap a bit. But Monty is beginning to use his DRS and he's going to beginning to close. He's not using DRS, it doesn't look like, so he's just going to sit there and close back up in his DRS. He'll begin to close that up in the third to final lap, I reckon, and it will quickly come around. We're already in the 5th lap of this sprint race. Not, to be honest, I'm not going to lie, I'm not the biggest fan of sprint races. Even in real life, I'm not the biggest fan of them. I think qualifying sessions are the main point of where a driver needs to push it to the limit. In the race, I like seeing racing on that, and I do like watching the race, and I love Formula 1, and I won't lie about that. But it's beginning to look a lot like a DRS train in this mid-pack. But RPL Egg still getting herred by Hera. He's just not close enough to look at Hera, but Monty is closing up slowly on Matt. Can he keep his nose there? But there's another spin in the back, and it looks like Smithy has spun again in the Ferrari. Them soft tyres are going to be screaming about pretty quickly. Gene ends up making his way through the field, still back up to 11th after dropping all the way down to 13th at one point, I believe it was. But WOR Ability's tyres still hanging on towards the back of Joe Murphy in that little DRS train, 3rd position there, which is not useful. Papas just dropped off about 3 seconds now to the front 2 leaders, but Monty's just sitting there waiting for his moment to pounce on that. He's still got pretty much half the sprint race to go, and he's looking convincing. He's looking very, very convincing. Let's have a look towards these three, because we haven't really looked at these three. We're more focused on the mid pack and the front pack. These three have kind of gone under the radar, apart from WOR Ability, who we have focused on a little bit, but his tyres are going to start to fade, and he will start losing grip compared to these guys, who will still have mint condition medium tyres as they head in towards the final few corners. But we will head in towards the last few laps as Monty is actually closer than ever as Smithy gets through a second time penalty within 6 laps, so hopefully he doesn't get that in the main race, but he has plenty of time to get his brain together, because he's moved to finding self in towards the point paying positions. I'm kind of gutted I missed the start of the race. I couldn't really get to the start of the race. I'm not sure to go. That's completely my fault. I had to quickly go and grab a drink of water so I don't dehydrate and die, which would not be fun. But he looks like Monty is still not gone for a move. I feel like he's going to be waiting for a perfect opportunity to make his pounce. But it looks like Joe Murphy is still all over the rear end of Papash, and he looks like he's going to make a move on towards the back straight. Just not close enough. I sound like David Crofty. I sound like Crofty then, making a move, and he's actually too far back to even think about it. But it looks like there's a move beginning to go here, and it's up Mercedes. Looks like he's got a bit wide, and the Haas of G Ninja's looking like towards he's going to make a move for P9, maybe down the hill here. Oh, he's looking at it. No, he's going to think better of it. But he looks like he'll make a move towards the end of this race as well. RPL Leg behind Hera now. Hera must have got through at some point. He's going to try to catch up into the back of WOR Ability's tyres. Still hanging on and still in that DRS. He's probably not going to go any further than this, but if he can hold on to P5 and carry on the race from there, that would be a great result for him. But can this man keep his eyes targeted on pole position for the race? No. I don't know. It's gonna be a hard one. And it's like there's another yellow flag towards the back of the grid, and Wireless is round. And the back three are having a nightmare of a race, it looks like, but Monty's still sitting behind his rival at the moment. Murphy all over the rear end. I think there was a little bit of a touch there as well on the videos, if if I say so those. But he's going to have DRS up towards the top of the hill. He's all over the rear end, it looks like. Can't even look down the side. No, not quite. But what about towards the further back of the field? They're all over each other. Doesn't look like anyone's going to keep pushing towards a move down there. These guys are just not close enough. But maybe these two. No, it doesn't even look like anyone's going to be looking towards make a move. I think the final few moves are going to be made towards the final laps of the race. But these two are looking feisty. Monty only 4/10 behind on the main straight. I think he's going to have him. I think Monty is going to have pole. He's my favourite pole at the moment. If he can keep that car on circuit and not make a mistake, he's going to be looking towards that pole position. If I was ERL manager, I would be bricking it as he heads down towards the final corner for the not the penultimate time actually. Sorry, a few more times than that. But it's getting very exciting as Joe Murphy looking down the inside there into the final corner of Papash, maybe trying to make him for a mistake, but it looks like he's all over him. He's actually going to go for the move now. He's getting DRS wide open down the main straight. He's going to be all over the rear end, all over it. He goes to the right hand side and he's just going to leave Papash towards the dust. And maybe this leaves the door open for WR Billy, who tries to go down the inside. He does as well. Can Papash hold on? WR Billy, he's just going to be able to hold it on. But Papash is going to drop a position to Joe Murphy, who's going to move himself up a few amount of positions in this race. Let's have a look at how many positions people have gained. 10 positions to the RPL egg there. That must have been a great race for him. 5 for WR Billy, 3 for Papash, 3 for Joe Murphy, and 1 for Monty, who was from his teammate spinning. This is about to be it. Can Monty find his way through? He's going to use this as a DRS boost towards the final sector. He has some ERS left, and it looks like they have about the same ERS, maybe a little bit more for Monty, but he doesn't need anything else above ERS and DRS. He's just sitting there. He's about 4/10 behind, 3/10 behind. About 4/10 behind, it looks like. It's just close enough. Can he stay in the DRS? It looks like Matt is wheeling a little bit as he heads round the final corner for the penultimate time. Can Monty get anywhere close towards making it pole position for the main race? Let's see as they head down, as he goes right close to the wall here, Matt. But it looks like Monty is just looking a bit too quick, and he looks like he can even have a look, but he's not going to be close enough. Matt's going to cover him off, but can he make the move up towards the hill? Matt's made a mistake, and it's like Monty might have had damage there, but they go side by side up the hill. Can they make it move? And this, oh, they've touched! Joe Murphy's going to make it pole. Joe Murphy's going to get pole here. Joe Murphy has got pole position currently, and Papash sliding. But they've the massive 2 championship rivals have made contact, it looks like. That is massive for the thing. But it looks like WR Ability might have damage here. WR Ability may have damage. It looks like damage on my screen, and it looks like Matt is actually going to get past Papash as well. Can Matt actually win his pole position back? But I don't know. It's going to be a bit more controversial, and I think that might get sent to the stewards from Monty. I don't think he's going to be very happy with that. He knew he had pole on the cards there, and that's very aggressive, I think, from Matt. But all's fair in racing, remember. But Murphy has a penalty, actually. Now you say it, I have just seen that in the chat, and I've just seen it on screen. So Matt is actually going to still get pole position. No, that looks like Papash will line up alongside him currently. So, can we see that in the main race? But Joe Murphy crosses the line for provisional pole position, but Matt is going to take it because of penalties. Papash is going to alongside him, and Joe's just going to keep dropping. He drops all the way down to P8 because of penalties. So he's gone from P1 to P8. That's not great for him. G Ninja down in P9 as well, the man in P2 from qualifying. But that, I must say, for the sprint race, I think driver of the day has to go to RPL Egg. What a race for him. Monty has just came into the chat to say he has been killed. Yes, you were killed. You were just killed. But it's racing at the end of the day. You can't really say I mean, you can't say whose fault it is, obviously, but it's racing of the day. Things happen, and it just moves on. But I hate comment. I've just realised I hate commentating on sprint races because there's nothing to talk about. There's no strategy, really, is there? So it's kind of hard to talk about strategy. But we will learn from that and move on. WR Ability making up 7 places and put himself up into P3. The man from last season who I thought was absolutely brilliant in getting his positions up. He's up into P3. So we are 45 minutes into the stream with 15 people joining me for the start of this race. 15. Oh, 18. 16. I just can't count. Sorry, that's my fault. But we will go through your starting grid. We have the Polish Master ERL Matager on pole position, followed up by Papash, WR Ability, the man from the UK, Monty in behind him, and people who has unluckily been spun on the final lap after trying to overtake. Hera up in the P5, RPL Egg after his fantastic drive in P7, Barney in P7, P6, sorry, RPL Egg, Barney in P7, Joe Murphy into P8 after getting pole position provisionally and dropping down after penalties, Gene Ninja in P9, and Jito finishing off your top 10. Paulus, Razoo, Bowman and Pedicu round off your top 14, and whatever happens below that is going to have to battle for the name to be towards that top. But it's a WR race. If you saw WR races last week, in fact, there were races that got flipped on their heads because of safety cars. Right, let's talk Sakir. We've had a few races in Sakir, to be honest. I don't know when our last season was where we didn't race actually Sakir around the Bahrain International Circuit, but it was a long time ago. Obviously last season, as I've already mentioned, Nicholas Longuet and Barry Burramond, as well as Jake Benham actually, all coming together, all in towards that final lap, which actually led to Nicholas Longuet taking the win here in Bahrain. We've had Xbox Tier 1 races here that have gone down to the wire. We've had PS4 races here that have gone down to the wire. But can we make a Tier 7 race on Xbox go down to the wire? I'm certainly hoping this championship goes down to the wire. But we will all see when it comes to that final round in Brazil, I think it is, actually. If I think correctly. It might be Abu Dhabi, but it's one of the two. It is Brazil, actually, I think. But we are just waiting on that special call again from Smithy. No formation lap. They just need to remember that. The drivers do need to remember there is no formation lap, because if not, then they might spin off the start, which, yeah. G-Ninja looking like he's going to be going full send in this race and trying to get himself up into them top paying positions. But we are just sitting and waiting patiently. The drivers getting their final preparations done, calling off a bit, remembering what they need to do. Just drive consistently and let the race come to you. That's my only advice. Or, as Chi Ninja would say, let's send it. But we will have to wait and see what happens on this first lap of the race. I'm just waiting for that final call to go. It looks like Smithy should be dropping that in a second. But we are still waiting. Every driver is still getting their final preparations done. But yeah, actually, let's go back to the sprint race. Let's talk about driver of the day. Driver of that race, RPL Egg. We didn't see it much, but he must have had an absolute fabulous race to get up them many positions and up into the point position. Can he improve on that? Can he even find himself up into the podium position? Can he even find himself in getting the win? I don't highly doubt it, but I doubt it. But He shocked me there. Can he shock me again? Monty, can he find himself up into that winning position again? Can he find himself past Matt? But are they going to make contact again? It's gonna be pressured. Joe won the race and got a 5-second illegal overtake pen, so that's just unlucky for him. But we go at 8:50, so we have a couple of minutes to sit more and relax. It's nice to see drivers actually waiting for once, because there's a few drivers in the lower down tiers that don't wait, and probably should learn how to wait. But we are still waiting. Yeah, let's have a look at. Let's talk the rest of the season, shall we? Let's go on here. Where is it? Just got to find it for us. Let's go tier 7. So obviously at the moment G-Ninja winning the first race in Austria, Bahrain, and then we head to the new circuit of Miami, which is a very high speed circuit, and then it also has a very slow chicane, so it's going to be a bit tuck and throw for the drivers, but it looks like we are heading towards go time. It's 8:50 UK time, and that's looking like where we can go. We have a few fans in the chat. Alex Matthews looking like he's going for Monty for the win. Let's have a look who else is in the chat and who's looking like there. And G-Ninja obviously looking like he's ready to go. But 14 seconds until we head towards them lights. Let's get ready to rumble here in Sakir then. It's 0 seconds. We head on towards the grid. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3, there's 4, and there's 5. And we go in Sakir. It looks like pole position man of Matt gets a decent start, but it looks like Papash is going to try and find himself down the inside. But it looks like WR Ability actually is fighting down towards the inside as well. But Papash goes down the inside. Can he find his way through? He does, and Papash takes the lead currently towards thing, and it looks like there's a bit of contact towards the back, and there's a few spinning cars, but it looks like the half of Monty's actually onto the gravel. Monty's going to be spinning as well. Monty comes back on the track a little bit dangerously, but it looks like Razoo is trying to defend his position on the Alfa Romeo. Can he defend away around the outside? He does look like he's going to currently, but it looks like Williams is trying to fight, and there's a spinning Red Bull towards the wall there, but he keeps out of the wall very luckily. As we head down towards the hill, it looks like Matt has found himself way back up into P1, and Papash is going to just try to find himself comfortable position. It looks like he's going to try to find the reverse switch onto him, but it looks like Matt is wise enough to find himself there. Murphy sitting comfortably in P3. It looks like Monty's just dropped himself down back into P7 after going to the gravel at the start of that race. Bowman sitting down in P8. He goes a bit wide, but can Jitto find himself through? But it looks like there's a Mercedes going too wide there past Bowman. He does. Jitto finds himself up into P8. And that is a very hectic start of the race under the first lap, and it looks like everyone's settling in towards their single file routine, but that looks like someone going around the outside there, but it doesn't look like there is. W Ability sadly dropping back into P15. Let's see what G-Ninja dropping down in P12. Let's see the big losers and big gainers off that first lap, and it looks like Razoo making 6th position. Where is the man? RPL Egg making number 2 positions. He is having a fabulous weekend currently. But we finish the first lap and head into the rest of the 28. Let's have a look at what tyres people are on. It looks like there's a couple, 3 or 4 people on hard. It looks like Penku's on hard, Bias is on hard, and Bowman up in P9 on hard, just to see what they can do on it. I would have personally gone hard tyres here and gone for the quicker ending, but it's all preference, isn't it? And let's be honest, I'm nowhere near as good as these drivers, so we will have a look on how they get on. Let's have a look at this again. It looks like G-Ninja has had a hell of a start again. And he's dropped down into P50, P19, and it looks like it's beginning to spread out a bit here. But we will follow the man in pole position currently. But it looks like there's a bit of a closing gap down there towards these backfields, and that looks like a Mercedes, a Braff going down the inside of or Alfred. Can he get it done? He looks like he does get it done towards going up the hill, but Alfred looks like he's going to try to find a way back through here. No, Alfred, double O. Billy I should get it right. And he looks like he's getting more invulnerable and more vulnerable by the second ability. Sadly, he hasn't had the weekend he would have wanted, apart from that great performance in the sprint, getting a few points for his team there. And it looks like Matt is getting further and further away, nearly pulling out his second gap. But Monty is finding himself towards the front currently. He's nearly hitting towards that back end of Razoo, but he needs to get himself past these cars pretty quickly if he's going to want to close up on towards that win. But at the moment, I'm going to say it, Matt is looking comfortable. I know it's doing 3 laps, but he's looking comfortable. No pressure behind that wheel at all. Smooth as you like in the steering inputs. Look, just see how smooth he is on the wheel. Look. Just so smooth. But it looks like RPL is slowly dropping off to Joe. Just doesn't have the pace to obviously drop into them being in position, but he has the consistency, which is key. Smithy's spinning around again for one more time this evening, and actually I say he's pulling away. Papash is still holding his own there, and Papash, I wouldn't rule him out of this. Monty up to P6, and he looks like he's going down the inside of Razoo. Can he get the move done? He does, and actually, I say that Razoo is actually vulnerable to RPL here, and can Egg find himself back through, and he's dropping off. I think RPL Egg may have a little bit of damage, because he looked vulnerable currently. And it looks like Papash is actually closing the gap up here towards the leader. Can Papash be a surprise victor here? I don't know. It's going to be hard for him, but he's going to do it. So he's going to choose pace, and it looks like this man looks a bit lonely and in the inverted zone as he locks up towards the first corner. Joe Murphy sitting into that P3. He's been very, very good this weekend, I must say. But his teammate, they were close to each other. Bowman dropping down in towards P10, but he looks like he's on the tail of the Red Bull of Ronan towards the mid pack, and the tail in the points. Where if you're going to go for the constructors, you're going to need a consistent amount of points. But I think at the moment, pace-wise, I know that 2 of their drivers in P19 and P20, but they're both very quick drivers. And they are very, very quick indeed. But they're just not having the weekend they would have liked. G-Ninja obviously definitely not having the weekend he would like for his championship hopes. But Monty heading on towards his attack and towards Barney, getting closer and closer. It looks like he can go for an attack this lap. It's going to be close. If Barney can just stay out the DRS of that McLaren ahead of Joe Murphy, then it's going to be useful for him. Alright, we are about 4 laps in. Actually, now I say that, and it looks like Alfred's going for a spin towards the barrier there. Oh, just got to be careful as he comes on the track back to Kanaku. But here we go. Can Papash find his way towards the rear end of Matt? It doesn't look like he currently has. Definitely not going to show the tyres now, mate. But right. Do you know what? Here you go. If you want to see the tyres, there's tyres. There you go, mate. No problem. Here on Matt, just chilling behind the thingy. Joe trying to find his way towards that front 2. Oh, well, we look like we're having a bit of a spinner in the mid-pit there of Ronan. And it looks like he's slowing down to let the Ferrari through. Are we looking towards our first retirement? No, we aren't. He's getting on with it. He's going to stick around with it, which I like to see in a driver. But how's Monty getting along? Can he find his way back through towards Barney? Not close enough at the moment, but Barney's closing in on that 3rd position. He was a few tenths back a minute ago, but it looks like Right. There's just, yeah, right. I'm not even going to read the chat anymore because some of you people are just mongs, which is fair enough. I would expect that from some of you with a lower IQ. But it looks like Barney is actually going to go for the move down into P3, and he gets a move done comfortably in towards turn 1. And this is just not making Monty any happier because he's seeing that position get battled for, and it's losing him time towards them front two. But Pat Rush is actually really helping him in at the moment because it's gaining him time. Well, not losing him time because it looks like he's going to be trying to battle with. Can you show us? Also, commentary is great, mate. Right, nice. So you've just switched from. There you go. Do you know what? I'll give you the telemetry. There you go. There you go. I don't know why I didn't have that on, to be fair. I should have had. Fair enough. You got me a point there. You've beat me over there. But it looks like. Sorry, I'm spoiling hot. Oh, my brain isn't working. Where are we? Oh, and it looks like we have a spinner at the back, mid-pack there of the back front three, and it looks like it's RPL eggs, so his race has been going great, and his weekend has just got a little bit worse, but can he get himself back up in the dead point? Looks like Smithy's DNF from the race. Are we going to see a safety car? No, his car looks like he's going to continue and retire. So Smithy is our first retirement of the night as we head in towards the next lap of lap 7 of 29. So we have 22 laps of the race to go, but it's not looking an easy race for Matt indeed. Whew. Let's have a look on who's battling. I'm not going to lie, so far it hasn't been the most intense close battles of racing, but hopefully that will open up towards after the strategy point. But it's going to be about who's going to pit next. Let's have a look on what tyres people are on, and it looks like we have another slow car in towards the back. And it looks like Ronan has gone for another spin. It's going to be, I think, Bonin is going to go for the hard. Obviously, we'll stick with the hards. He's going to want to go as long as possible, though, and hope for a safety car towards the mid-rate point of the race of where he's about to get. But we can see how that goes.